Up YouTube, so I can tell some of you are already thinking, judging by the title of this video,
dude, triplets and shaman chanting killed Psytrance.
But hold on. It's the beginning of April. Not everything has to be so serious. We're just here to have some fun, to learn, and to share some knowledge. So speaking about learning and sharing knowledge, Skillshare approached me about a sponsored segment in my video, and I was actually really stoked about it because I found out about Skillshare on another YouTuber who I follow's videos, and I signed up for the same promotion that I'm going to offer you guys, and I'm actually learning a ton about music theory and all sorts of stuff that I kind of wanted to touch up on, and some new things that I wanted to learn about. So anyway, for those who don't know what Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with over 25,000 classes in all sorts of different categories, from business to design to music to like literally anything a creator could ever need. Having a Skillshare premium membership gives you unlimited access to all of these different categories. So if you're just interested in music, you can sign up, but you can still learn from other categories and, all sorts of stuff like that. You can touch up your knowledge and learn all sorts of new things. So whether you want to fuel your curiosity or creativity, which I'm judging by the fact that you do watch my videos, this is something that you're interested in, or even if you want to jumpstart a career in something and learn something new, Skillshare is definitely the perfect place to keep you learning and thriving in 2019. So like I said, I've been learning quite a bit about music theory, and it's something that I don't really cover all that much on my channel. So if it is something that you guys do want to touch up on, then definitely check out the promotion that I'm going to be offering you guys. And furthermore, Skillshare is also super affordable. An annual subscription will cost you less than $10 a month. I'm sure that's kind of what you guys are paying for a lot of your rent-to-own plugins and stuff like that. Plugins, they update and change, but knowledge will stick with you forever. So if you're keen to join the more than 7 million creators who are using Skillshare, the first 500 of my subscribers to sign up using the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial. And that's exactly how I found out about Skillshare, and I'm already learning a ton about all sorts of different stuff. Anyway, let's get into today's video. So I've got this track I've been working on, and I've kind of been creating this kind of build-up section for it here, using some of the techniques that I've outlined in the previous build-up and drop tutorials that I've released. I'm going to post links to those in the description as well. And I had this section here where it builds up, and then I've created this kind of silence. And I was thinking this is the perfect place to kind of put in that sort of shaman chant kind of gated drop. And I want to show you guys a couple of techniques that are pretty cool to use with this type of thing. For those who don't know what triplets are and who kind of get confused between triplets and 3/4, let me give you a sort of quick example of the differences and how to sort of set up your DAW to work with triplets. So here, if I zoom into the bar, you'll see that my grid is currently on 1/16. And in between each of where the kicks would be, there's 2 bass notes. So that means that it's a triplet quantize. So if you go over here to the quantize preset, you can actually choose 1/8 triplet. Now you'll actually see, I'm not sure if the screen can show this on the capture, but you'll see now it's kind of snapped to that grid. So if you've got a 4/4 bass pattern and you want to change it to triplets, it's in the sort of quantize setting over here, rather than your sort of time signature, which is what confuses quite a few people. So what the time signature is you see here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kicks in a bar. So what the time signature is, or essentially this is 2 bars. So what the time signature is the time signature is basically saying how many kicks are in each bar. So if we set that to 3/4, the bar would loop here. So it creates a bit of a different timing. There are a few sort of Psytrance tracks that use this timing, but it's not as popular as the triplet timing. So I hope that kind of just outlines a few things for you guys. So anyway, I've got this kind of drop section that I've made in triplets, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through Loop Cloud for some sort of shaman chanty vocally type things that we can sort of incorporate into this track. So the cool thing about Loop Cloud is it allows you to kind of snap the sort of samples that you're auditioning to the tempo, but also to the key of the track. So if I remember correctly, this bass line is in the key of B. So I've set here auto key, and I've set this to B. As far as I know, now when I'm listening to these samples, they're going to be kind of transposed to B. So I can listen over the kick or over the drop section while I'm auditioning these loops and samples, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to play this kind of a build-up section that I've made while I'm looking for some samples. Yes, that's perfect. So I think because it only needs to be transposed -1 there, you don't get that like really kind of like sort of obvious transposition. But once you pop it into Cubase, there's various kind of like warp algorithms, and I'm sure with Ableton as well. There's various ways of kind of masking that if you are going to transpose it quite wide. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is I actually like that, and it fits pretty well. And I've got some credits on my account here, so I'm actually going to buy that, pop it into our DAW. Now I've got full wave quality. Let's drag that in, and I want to show you guys a couple of cool techniques on how to kind of like chop this and a couple of things to do. So it's already kind of like warped it to the tempo here, but I'm not sure if it's kind of fit the exact tempo. I think it might be playing too quickly, judging by how short it is. But so here, if we double click and we open up the sample, we can actually see that it's kind of like it's auto detected the tempo to 60 BPM. So we can change that to 120, and that should be closer to what we want. Let's have a listen now. Cool, so we've got the actual sort of chant. Now what I like to do is I like to create like an extended sort of note of that sort of chant, and then sort of create like a gated effect or something on that. So what we can do is we can kind of find like a sort of sustained note in this and load it up into the Cubase sampler track. So let's do that quickly. So here with this one, what I've done is I've basically just cut it out, and then I'm going to apply sort of one sample of fade in and fade out on each side, and then bounce selection, so it's like just contained within itself, and then right click, create sampler track. So now we can actually remove this because we want to kind of create this like extended version of it. So actually let's just create a loop over here, and then create one long note. So here in the sampler track, we can actually set different loop points. So for example, if we wanted to start with that kind of like beginning sort of vocalization and then sort of snap here and then carry on looping, we can do that. So if we go, I think it's continuous, and then we set these like loop start and end points, you'll see this green thing kind of becomes your like endless sort of loop. So you can kind of see what's happening there. And furthermore, you've actually got a little crossfade like this, so you can make it a little bit more seamless. So let's have a listen to what's happening now. So now the idea is to create like a long continuous sort of note of that, and then we're going to bounce it out. But I just want to hear how this kind of flows from this sort of recorded one to our sort of manipulated one. So it's a bit abrupt. We can kind of, we can maybe open the sampler track up and then play with the amp envelope settings and play with the attack here. So it kind of fades in, and then we can actually create like a little fade out over here. So I'm just going to play with these settings until we get it sort of quite seamless. Okay, so now we can just extend this however long we want and then bounce it out as an audio file. So we can, or render it out. So for my gated effect, I'm sure you guys already know I love using LFO tool just because it's so easy to set up and there's so many different things you can do with it, from volume gating to panning to filters, all sorts of stuff like that. So let's set this up quickly. Because we're using triplets, we might want to snap this here to 6 or to 12. Any kind of multiple of 3, because triplets, obviously. And then change this to whatever kind of like snap rate fits that. So let's actually just loop this, and then we can play around with these settings. So then instead of having it come in like abruptly, we can actually automate this amount over here. So let's actually just set it back to 0, hit read and write automation on over here at the top, and then we'll hit play and I'll just drag it in. Cool, sounding good so far. So let's listen to the entire arrangement as we go one time through. Did you guys notice something? Yes, it was out of key. I didn't transpose it. So what I can do is we can actually select all of them and then just over here scroll down -1 because we're going from C to B, I think. Let's have a listen. Cool, so we've got the arrangement and that kind of stuff in place. So now what I like to do is I like to send them both to a group channel. So let's just move over to our mixer over here. So we can select these 2 channels and then find them on the mixer. Right click and then say add group channel to selected tracks. Stereo, yes. Call this box chant. So here I'm actually going to put it into a folder as well. So here I like to EQ this channel because often there's a little like bit too much low end coming through. I like to add a delay and reverb. Obviously, I'm sure you guys know this is like my standard effects suite. So let's play around a bit with that. With these vocal kind of stuff, I like to use quite a quick delay time. So I'll like speed it up as opposed to like normally when I'll open color copy, I kind of slow it down a bit. But with a sort of vocal sound, I like more of a kind of slapbacky type of sound. So I may go for 1/8 or maybe even 1/8 triplet. Let's just have a listen to this. So now that we've created a couple of effects and stuff, we can actually go back to this kind of like non-gated one and we can chop it up and, you know, just use like single vowels like throughout the track before the drop to kind of hint at that kind of drop coming up, you know, something like this. Awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope the diehard purists don't hate me for doing this video. I just wanted to show people the kind of, one little secret to being rich and famous on Beatport. That was sarcasm, by the way. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time.